my God, this is awesome. This is by far the best series, best episode we've ever made. With the best footage, it's a week in Key West with the FPC Florida Power Boating Club combined with the World Championship Boat Races, and it is a week to remember. And we have some of the craziest race boat crash footage you've ever seen. If you are claustrophobic or afraid of drowning, do not watch this.
Just get out, I promise I'm good.
And just like that, things can become life or death in boat racing. But more on that in later episodes. Let's get back to this happy intro. Unless you have time, I don't even want you to watch the episode now. I want you to save it. Go home, get dinner, sit down in your lazy boy on your sofa with your loved one and a big bowl of popcorn. Relax, turn the lights down, and enjoy one of the most amazing weeks you can ever have with Howe2Live in the world's high-speed boating community. Well, that's the intro, and now we begin the story.
Does anybody want to guess what time it is? We're supposed to leave for Miami tomorrow. Well, I guess today now. It's well after midnight, and we've hit a little snafu. I'll let Mike tell you all about it.
Just like a pilot walks around a plane before a flight, I do the same thing with my boat, especially on these long runs. And sure enough, I caught a loose engine bolt, and it was really hard to get to. So before you know it, it was just a really late night with me and my wife, the peepers, a flashlight, a screwdriver, a ratchet, and a cup of coffee. And yes, my wife is an absolute genius for taking the pool floaty and making sure I don't lose any tools, well, in the ocean. And yes, it did catch quite a few. Alright guys, I told you I was going to be real on this channel, so here it is. No, that night was not awesome. It sucked.
But hey, that's boating.
After that really late night and the motors finally passing my inspection, it's time to pack for this 6-day voyage. Well, thank God I found the perfect wife, because simply, I am a disorganized mess and my wife keeps it all together. So this is what my house looks like.
Life jackets in the boat. Gonna need towel. We're not bringing e-curbs in the boat. Each side, towels in the boat. Knife. Do you have your knife?
Knife, check.
Lighter in the boat. Night vision not bringing.
So after a 5-minute review of the checklist, which was much needed, my wife decides to, I don't know, have a conversation with one of the young bucks.
Careful, honey. It is rut. You know, we have drones, we have multiple GoPros, and all kinds of cameras. And I think that's the only downside to what we do here at Howe2Live, is we do so much filming, we actually miss the moment. And that does suck. That's the one downside. But everything else is so awesome that we end up, it outweighs it. Getting ready to leave our place in Big Pine. It's been a long night. We had to do some maintenance to the boat. One of those things, man, it's part of boating. You gotta keep your boat healthy and maintained. And there's no guarantees, you know. But the better you maintain your boat, the better chances you are of completing the trip, especially these long fun runs. So today we're actually going from Big Pine to Miami, and then we're going to be going all the way back down from Miami to Key West. So we have, 500 miles to put on here the next couple of days. So maintenance is everything.
And before you know it, it's time to leave. We drive out our canal to a beautiful beautiful sunny day with a little bit of a northerly wind. And for us, as I'll show you on the map, that's perfect to get to Miami. I'm sure you guys have noticed the new perspective. That is a GoPro 360 Max. We hope you guys like it. Comment below if you think it's a good addition to our content. And yeah, it kind of looks like we are in a spaceship. So it's time to launch this girl down the canal like an X-Wing fighter out of the mothership, or should I say like the Millennium Falcon. It's hard to tell here from this camera angle, but we're actually doing about 75 miles an hour into this 90-degree turn. These cats turn like they're on rails. There's absolutely nothing else like it in the world. It's pretty cool when you come up on a seaplane and you have the boat fast enough to run co-pilot with them. This was a perfect day to talk about wind, direction, and how do you go from the Keys to Miami with a northerly wind.
Normally we go on the inside, but the wind's coming from this direction. So we're going to scoot to the outside and use all of the Keys for what we call a lee side, or a side that has less wind because it's being buffeted by the land. Makes a big difference. And in the Keys, you can travel in some pretty big windy days by just picking what side of the Keys you go on. The worst wind for us is a direct easterly or westerly. If it's north or south at all, we can pick a lee side, and that's what we're doing today.
And this is the perfect chance to show you the fuel economy of these boats. Here we are doing 80 miles an hour, fully loaded, and we're getting about 2.1 to 2.2 miles a gallon. For a boat at that speed, that is absolutely incredible. And if you ever wondered what Miami looked like coming in from the south through Biscayne Bay, here you go. And in just under 2 hours, from Big Pine to Miami, we roll into one of the coolest marinas on earth, Haulover Marine, where they're already staging for what will be the biggest FPC Fun Run in history.
Honey, you missed a spot.
After we put away the boat for the night, we go see Jackie. She gives us the packet for tomorrow. We head back to the hotel where we get in the elevator. Something looks awful familiar. Then we have Stu's captain's meeting. This is a very important meeting for safety. We always make it, and we make sure that we don't drink that much that night. And then we wake up to a fantastic morning where the conditions are incredible.
Oh, honey, here we are, ready to roll. Kind of. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Guess who didn't sleep?
I woke up about every hour on the hour, ready to go. Sarah and I, we've done this enough that we know that we don't drink actually the night before. We go out and have dinner, and a lot of people do, and we used to as well. And hold nothing against that, but for us, and the older we get, the harder it is to recover, and the harder it is to actually think straight the next day. It's awesome because, like right now, I feel great. Oh my God. Look at this.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine. And go out and play.
All right, so this is always the craziest part. Untying, getting everybody out of here is always the craziest part. We've got probably, I don't even know, 100 boats trying to get out of this marina, and it does get crazy. Outboard starting up, we got inboard starting up, we got basically, it's slightly controlled chaos.
it's finally time. Plug your headphones in or turn up the music. Go out to the shed, grab your life jacket, strap it on, and be ready to be immersed in one of the coolest fun runs you could ever be in. FPC 2021 from Miami to Key West. This is the biggest fun run the FPC has done in maybe a decade, or maybe even a century. Or yep, you guessed it, maybe even the millennium. Falcon. God, if you don't have chills right now, you might have to check your pulse. And yes, this is what it actually feels like when you're doing it in real life. You'll see on my starboard side, this is my good buddy Brian. There's nothing better than riding next to your buddy in triple digits and 2 to 3 foot seas. Alright, if you look at my right hand, you'll see my fingers working overtime. They're adjusting trim while I'm adjusting throttle and steering all at the same time. All of them have to come together in kind of a perfect harmony to make sure the boat performs perfectly in these conditions and is fast and safe. With almost 10,000 miles on this boat, and most of them in triple digit speeds, it does become second nature after a while. Okay, now it's time. We've got a couple outboard cats beside us. It's time to push the envelope. This is not a race, but let's get some. 2s to 3s, this is where this 390 excels. Yep, pun intended. Well, as the boat eats it, the camera mount doesn't. Bird, beat it!
Oh, we made it!
Made it!
Barely.
Alright, we got a big Viking up here throwing a slob of a wake. We get up?
It's not gonna stay.
Okay. Yeah, try to tighten it. When we get inside, it'll be a little calmer. We can probably get it to stay.
Famous hustle.
Hold on. Well, with an epic outside run, we turn inside a government cut and we go all the way to the first hard stop. It smoothed out and gave me my first chance to see how fast my buddy Shaun Torrente actually made this boat.
This boat is fast. This boat is really, really fast. Good job, Shaun. Good job, Torrente. This boat is fucking fast. Holy shit.
Engine 38.
Good job, Torrente. Wow. This boat rips. Yeah, but we can cut.
You can cut there too. You can cut there.
And before you know it, we are at our first cart stop. Let's just take a look at all the boats that made it to this fantastic fun run. I believe there was almost 300 boats for both Wednesday and Thursday's run, which makes this FPC Fun Run the biggest in history. My boy Brian, one of the classiest dudes you could ever meet. Alright, this is the first cart stop. Well, this is how it's done. Usually a beautiful woman gets on the bow and grabs the card. Now that could be considered sexist, but really at the end of the day, do you want to see me do that? Just keeping it real, comment below. Actually, I don't want to see the comment.
It should be on.
No, it's not.
Okay, go ahead and hold the side button for a while.
Yep, it came back on. SD card full.
Okay, in my bag there is, it's in the top bucket. No, it's in the top bucket. It's in the top hatch of my bag, in those little squares, yep.
Alright, and it's time for the second half of this fun run in the morning, and that is from the first cart stop all the way to Gilbert's. We get a chance to rip on it. It's a 50-mile run, and it is epic. Now, while I have a very fast boat, I do not have the fastest boat. But it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy being passed like this. These are two badass boats, both MTIs, both inboards, passing me at about 150 miles an hour. I slow down a little bit here and let them pass, and make sure I don't cake their wake at 130 miles an hour. It also looks kind of cool. Now here's the dilemma between inboards and outboards. While they passed me at 150 miles an hour, I can just keep it pinned at 130 and eventually I catch up to them. Because you know what? They don't want to keep it pinned forever. Me, it doesn't matter. And there's the major difference between inboards and outboards. And after what felt like 5 minutes, we were at Gilbert. We were ready for lunch, ready to fuel up, and ready to head to the second half, which was Key West, baby. Guys, I just have to say, from the bottom of my heart, Sarah and I, we do have the best fans on earth. We just do. I know it's super cliche. We had no idea in how involved they are in our channel until we get to Gilbert and then Key West. Our minds were actually blown. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting our channel. It keeps us going and it keeps us trying to create better and better content. Content that actually means something. And that brings me to my final point for this episode. Sarah and I had somebody come up to us in Key West and they really touched our heart with a story. He told us about his dad who was just fresh out of surgery and had 2 months to recover. He didn't have much hope. And our channel somehow gave him that energy, gave him the hope to look forward to the future and live his life with a new type of freedom. My wife and I were actually stunned by that story, and it really affected us. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, this channel's about entertainment. But maybe it's about more. Maybe it's about life. We're on this earth for such a short period of time. Maybe it's about how do you choose to live yours. So we end this episode in dedication to that father out there who's working through his recovery. It's my hope that this episode gives you the motivation to one day show us how you like to live. If you guys have watched my videos before, you know this is about emotion. It's about the ups and downs. I hope I gave it to you in this episode. The full up, the full down, and be ready. We have 2 or 3 more episodes. One supercharged with NOS. We still have the nightlife in Key West to talk about and to show you guys what is that like to be in the middle of Key West in the middle of this crazy week. Somehow, Sarah and I get a special invite from the new owner of Cigarette Boats to celebrate with him, his family, and friends on his Mega-Yacht. John Ruiz, awesome guy, incredible story. We'll talk about that next episode. Decent bridge. I wonder if they'll let me take the controls. And we still have the races. We have incredible interviews with world champions, both male and female. And we also cover one of the gnarliest crashes of the week with incredible footage both inside and outside. What's it actually like to be in a boat, upside down, sinking, and you can't get out? Thank you, Pete, Julian, and Richard for some of the most incredible race footage you'll ever see. More to come. And until next time, boat safe, boat happy, over and out.